This week on the Computer Chronicles, the best of Comdex. This is the HP LaserJet 4000, an exceptional new printer that won Byte Magazine's award for Best of Show. This is the CyberStick, a joystick that won the PC Magazine award for Best Computer Toy at Comdex. We'll bring you highlights of the Comdex keynote address featuring Microsoft Chairman Bill Gates, plus a look at an incredible new product, the CrossPad, that finally brings together the world of paper and pen and the PC. And Face It, an amazing piece of software that will change forever the concept of computer security. It won PC Week's award for Best New Technology at Comdex. And we'll tour the aisles and booths of the Comdex convention centers to show you several other innovative new computer products. Plus, my pick of the week, a terrific new adventure game, and it's not called Riven. It's all coming up next on the Computer Chronicles.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by SoftSource Incorporated, publishers of Pro1 software, educational software for young adults, and by Z Auction, the live online shopping experience. Additional funding from PC Connection and Mac Connection, the catalog and online superstore with PC and Mac products, toll-free technical support, and overnight delivery. And by Windows Magazine, delivering desktop, enterprise, and internet computing news, reviews, features, and how-tos for a Windows world. Because the world runs on Windows.
Hi, and welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stewart Cheifet. Well, Comdex has become a legendary computer industry event. 250,000 geeks descend on Las Vegas for 1 week. Thousands of new computer products get introduced, and the challenge is to figure out what out of all of this is really important, significant, or worth knowing about. Well, we got the tired feet. We got our ears talked off by endless product managers and PR people, and we've sifted it all out to bring you what we think are the best new technologies from this year's Comdex. And surprisingly, one of the consensus best of show products from Comdex was a new printer from Hewlett-Packard, the LaserJet 4000. And Larry, how in the world can a printer be new and exciting at Comdex and win best of show?
Well, it was real interesting to us too. We did a lot of things very well, and then we also have some very good technical surprises that people didn't expect.
All right, tell me, what can be new about a LaserJet printer?
Well, one of the really interesting technologies with this new printer is called JetSend.
Which is what?
It's the ability, it's a technology that will allow appliances like printers to talk back and forth with each other. So a digital camera, people like Canon are working on, to embed JetSend, you'll be able to send directly from that camera to the printer without having to configure any PCs or without any PCs in the way.
Now, would this be infrared or a wire? Or?
You could use infrared, you could plug them into a network. It really doesn't matter. The two devices will talk to each other, negotiate the best protocol, and simply print the best output.
So a camera or a palm-top device right to the printer?
Right to the printer, or you can send from a camera to your PC using JetSend technology.
So that's called JetSend.
Well. It's called JetSend. So
what else was new? That's cool.
So other things that are new are our new network cards. This was the old network card we had. This is the new network card.
So smaller, and I take it faster?
Smaller, faster, twice as small, twice as fast. So.
Okay, so what'd you do with the space you saved?
Well, we saved a lot of space, so we decided we'd add an option, the disk drive, so you can actually
add a hard drive in my printer?
You can add a hard drive to
Why?
this printer. Well, a lot of people are doing things like multiple original prints on their laser printer. So instead of taking...
Multiple original prints, meaning instead of making one copy and taking it to the copy machine, I just do the 10 copies right here?
Exactly. So with the disk
drive... So I
drive...
need the storage locally.
You store the whole file on the printer, you send it one time to the printer, transmit it once, and then you can print as many as you want. So the printer will run at engine speed, create those beautiful, crisp originals rather than creating those copies on a copy machine.
Hard drive on my printer now.
Yep.
All right, what else is new?
The other things that are new with this printer are some paper handling that I'll talk about in a moment, as well as an instant-on fuser. This allows the printer to be in sleep mode, power on very quickly, and print a piece of paper out in 15
So no slow warm-up time when I need a printer,
right.
a print, I just
When you rush into the office in the morning and you need that quick presentation, this will warm up instantly instead of 30 to 40 seconds.
So what's the deal about paper handling? What's different?
So a lot of things, we've got more paper trays. All of our paper trays are adjustable for legal, letter, executive size paper, the multi-purpose tray.
And all that.
Right, we can handle a lot thicker paper, 3x5 cards you can run through the printer as well.
Okay, the toner cartridge is different too. What's new about that?
Right. Because we can print 1200 dpi with this printer, we've got a toner cartridge that has a much finer toner particle in it. We also put more toner in this toner cartridge so it'll last longer, and people won't have to change their toner cartridges frequently.
All right, so it's 1200 DPI, better quality, which I care about. I care about speed. What's the speed?
The speed of this printer is 17 pages per minute. The previous printer, the LaserJet 5, was 12 pages per minute.
So it's a lot faster.
A lot faster.
Now let's talk about the 1200 DPI for a second and kind of show what that means. Now here's a printout. Now this is actually not your real 1200 DPI mode, is it?
This is what we call fast res 1200. We want to run the printer as much as we can at engine speed, so we are able to print this very quickly, crisply, and cleanly using some technology
But
called
obviously
fast
real
res.
fine as
oh,
we see
it's
the sort of
outstanding
mechanical
print
example.
quality. Right.
And what I like is you talked about the digital cameras, you can get pretty darn good looking pictures
Absolutely,
out of this thing.
and instead of just printing one, you can print them for everyone and send them out to the whole family.
All right, it's the LaserJet 4000.
Great.
Larry, thank you.
Thank you, Stewart.
Well, one of the highlights of any Comdex is the keynote address, usually given by the icon of the personal computer industry, Bill Gates, chairman of Microsoft. This year was no exception, though there was particular interest in the Gates message due to the growing controversy surrounding Microsoft's increasing control of the PC software business.
Bill Gates arrived on stage to a packed house and a wall of paparazzi flashbulbs. He opened his speech with a top 10 list of why he loves his PC. It included a pointed reference to his own travails with the Department of Justice.
In just one weekend, I can sit at my PC, collaborate with attorneys all over the world, comment on a 48-page legal brief, and email it to the Department of Justice.
But Gates had a serious message as well, and it gave a hint of what Microsoft's next steps might be with the Internet PC.
The greatest ally we have in simplifying computing is to use the network to make sure that the support, the advice, the right files, the updates, that those just come automatically across the network. We need high-speed connectivity to do this. Now, in the enterprise space, we have it today because there are already very good speed local area networks. We're also extending this concept out to other devices, product like Web TV. Every few months when you dial in, it will ask you if you want to upgrade to the latest software. And if you say yes and give it a few minutes, you'll have new features available to you on that device. Part of the beauty of it is that it logs everything that you have a problem with.
Gates' presentation was studded with demos from real users, including basketball star Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who showed off his webpage with a little help from Gates.
It won't scroll for me. What's going on here?
Sorry about that. Let's see. This is a case where being short is definitely an advantage.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Sarah O'Brien.
There are serious business products at Comdex like laser printers and databases and internet servers, but there are also fun computer products at Comdex. And this year's winner of the PC Magazine Award for Best Computer Toy at Comdex was the CyberStick joystick from CyberStuff. And Greg, you've got one over here. And joysticks seem like a kind of boring topic, but what's the idea behind this joystick? Why is it different?
Well, it's a lot different than a standard joystick, Stewart. It looks like an ordinary joystick.
Right.
Until you pull it off the base.
So none of this matters?
All of that
a magic
is
trick.
That's just a holder, basically.
So you're actually playing this flight simulator right now with the joystick, and I can actually take that away.
You can take that away.
No batteries in here?
No batteries in there, no magic in there.
All right, now what is the point? Why is this better than a traditional joystick, Greg?
Well, besides the fact that you're able to get away from your desk a little bit, it also adds quite a bit more realism to the game because you're following your hand tracking just as a screen would be following. And you're able to do a lot more natural movements than you were if you're forced to a desk.
All right, now I have to ask you how you can do this. I mean, traditionally you've had like little mercury switches in here, which are kind of kludgy and they're slow and they're not real accurate. This obviously has very fine movement. What's going on inside there? How does it know what you're doing?
Okay, we've been developing 3 years of technology. We have a microprocessor in here. There's 3,000 lines of code, and there's a couple of patented chips. All of this technology together works to allow this joystick to do this kind of accuracy.
All right, but somewhere there's got to be a sensor that's knowing that you're going left, right, forward, down, or up. I mean, how's that happening?
It is a sensor. It's a sensor that's developed into one of the chips. We have no moving parts. There's no mechanical parts, no ball bearings, none of the traditional ways of doing it. But we do have a sensor in one of the chips.
You're keying in on the North Pole or something.
We're keying in on it. We're actually setting our own North Pole because one of the features of the stick, it allows you to select where you want your 0 point to be. Now, if you're, for example, if you tend to have a little bit of a lean on your hand, you can set this to be my 0. And I can, even though I'm not really at a 0 plane, that'll still act as a 0 and allow me to still get the same kind of movements.
All right, now show me again. Just sort of fly this plane here a little bit, and let's watch how you do this now. See how accurate it is.
All right.
Yeah, get us to the horizon if you can, so we can kind of see where you are.
We're going to get down on the ground here. We're going to try and get down on the ground.
Okay.
Put a little speed on it here. There we go.
There you go.
All right. As you notice, it's very, very smooth. We have, I mean, you can tell as you're tracking. Now I can adjust how fast I want this joystick to move. I'm in the very slowest position now. I can change the function. Now I've got a faster response.
This is really like a magic trick. I'm dying to figure out how you do this.
There was a lot of people in our booth that were trying to figure out how we were doing this.
Really? Now let me ask you a couple of things. First of all, what I like, it looks like it's sort of ambidextrous. Lefty, righty, it's all going to work the same, right? You got buttons on both sides?
Exactly. In fact, when you go to the fact that you can set your own 0 point, it is probably the first joystick ever in the history of joysticks that allow it to be customized for either hand, any position.
So you can naturally lean and make that your y-axis, if you will.
You can make that your y-axis.
Now, it seems to me this is so accurate, and watching you use this, I would like to use this kind of as a mouse substitute. I mean, I can see navigating a document or a web page or something using that kind of device rather than a mouse.
There's a lot of applications for the technology. One of the big things that we're coming out with here shortly is we're coming out with a USB interface. That'll be shipping in about May or June of next year. Once that USB interface is out, then the applications can be written and this can cross over into all the different ports.
Okay, but at the moment, a game has to support specifically your particular joystick.
Not exactly our particular joystick. One of the things we did to help get this product quickly to market is we emulate the CH Products Flight Stick Pro interface. So virtually any piece of software out in the market right now will work with this joystick.
All right, it's very cool, Greg. Thank you very much. Well, my favorite new product at Comdex was an incredible new piece of hardware and software from an unlikely source, the Cross Pen Company of Rhode Island. This new gadget called the Cross Pad is the ultimate answer to merging the world of paper and pen and the world of the PC. Jim, this is another magic trick here, what you guys are doing. Let me try to explain. This is just a plain old pad of paper that you bought from an office supply store, right?
Absolutely. An 8.5 by 11 pad of paper.
There's no electronics in here.
None whatsoever.
But if I use this as my clipboard, I can write on paper and transmit it into my PC, as I understand.
What you do is you capture your notes in ink and also in electronic ink.
All right, so take this and slip it into your CrossPad clipboard here.
Okay.
And you've done some writing just to save time, but just write another sentence down there just so we see this is real. So you're writing on a piece of paper. Now let me ask you, how does this clipboard know what you're writing? I take it this is not pressure sensitive. You're going through 100 sheets of paper here.
Right. What it does is the pen actually has a radio transmitter in addition to an ink cartridge, and it sends a signal through the paper up to ½ an inch into the tablet, and the tablet captures essentially the geometry of your handwriting.
So it's reading the ups and downs and the lefts and rights, the motion of my writing, and it knows a certain motion is a particular piece of ink.
Exactly. Well, again, it's just capturing it as ink at this point.
All right, what are these buttons at the bottom of the clipboard?
Okay. They allow us to keep our electronic page in sync with our paper page. For example, if we flip a page forward, we would simply hit next page.
Next page, so the computer knows I've changed pages.
Exactly. And then we have other buttons for menus and to send it up into our PC.
All right, now I know there's something you can sort of index things, or you circle a word and that does what?
Right, you have a keyword function. If I, for example, circle CrossPad and press the keyword button, it now knows that this is a keyword, and it can index this document along with other documents based on that keyword.
So this is the stuff about CrossPad, for example.
This is actually part of the Ink Manager software that comes with CrossPad.
All right, let's get to that next. Now, I've written my stuff on a piece of paper on your pad, and now I want to put it into my computer. How do I do that?
Right. We simply return to the PC, plug in
So just serial port into a PC.
into a standard COM port,
And what do I do?
press send and press OK, and it will automatically launch the Ink Manager software. And what this Ink Manager software does is works with your handwriting much the same way you work with text with a word processor.
So you've dumped an ink file now. Everything you wrote on the piece of paper has now been transmitted from the tablet, from your crosspad, into my, and there it is. That's the same stuff that was on there, and there's that new sentence you just added.
Exactly. And we can take our ink and treat it like we treat text, cut it, paste it, move it around, copy it, paste it, for example, into a Word doc in its ink format where we can, you know, manipulate it, scale it, etc.
So I can take notes, again, on a normal pad of paper,
Absolutely.
transmit it to my PC, and organize these things, index them in a computer as ink files. Now,
Yes.
can I also do character recognition on this and turn it into
Sure.
text?
Here we've put some ink on a Word document, but we can also take a portion of our ink, highlight it, and press R to recognize.
So it's going to OCR that particular sentence, and then I'm going to end up with a text file I could then paste into Word or something like that.
Or into an email. You know, it's any
Right.
standard text that you can grab on a clipboard and paste in any other text application.
And I could cut and paste with the ink too, right? If I wanted that little diagram of yours and put it into a Word document, I could just cut and paste it?
Absolutely.
Okay, now what's the status of this product right now? How far along are you?
We are getting ready to ramp up production. It will ship in March, and we expect to do our final testing
And
in
what's it going to sell for?
$3.99.
Jim, I love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Computer Chronicles is not the only journalistic group to scour the floors of Comdex looking for innovative new products. Byte Magazine, PC Week, and others all make their own selections for best new computer technology at Comdex. So we thought we would share the stage for a while and let you see some of the other journalistic favorites at this year's Comdex.
It's a problem that seems to grow bigger each year as the number of new products at Comdex increases. This year there were over 2,000 exhibitors and 10,000 products to examine, test, and evaluate. PC Magazine came up with 12 top winners. Hitachi took top honors in the digital imaging category with an MPEG digital video camera that weighs just 18 ounces. The MPEG 1A records 20 minutes of digital video, 3,000 still images, or 4 hours of audio. Epson won a Technical Excellence Award for its micro-piezo printing technology. IBM's ThinkPad 770, which the magazine's editors called the ultimate notebook, placed first in the PC category. Improvements in speech recognition made a loud noise at this year's Comdex, with Dragon Systems, Naturally Speaking, getting high honors from PC Magazine.
Your restaurant choices are always great, period. I will leave the decision about where to eat up to you, period.
Voice Express from LearnOut and Houseby was a PC Week finalist for Best All-Around Application. Voice Express offers a voice command engine for word processing software.
And easiest, bold that, way to create documents, period.
Not all of the products at Comdex are on store shelves. Among the many technology demonstrations, IBM, Delco, and Sun Microsystems unveiled a sample of automotive connectivity called the Network Vehicle. The car's dashboard features an LCD screen on which driver and passenger can surf the internet, ask for help, and watch digital TV.
What we're trying to accomplish here is show how all these different technologies can all integrate together, leverage each other, to allow these features, if you would, to come at a lower price in a short amount of time.
The touchscreen controls are augmented by a voice command system, making it a little easier for the distracted driver to keep his eyes on the road.
Read stocks.
General Motors 61 Ford.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Sarah O'Brien.
The winner of PC Week's Award for Best New Technology at Comdex was indeed an extraordinary and innovative new product that got lots of press attention, and deservedly so. It is a brilliant piece of software called FACEIT from Visionex Corporation. And Dave, explain the basic idea behind FACEIT. Well, what is the technology? What do I do with it?
You know, the basic technology is something that every 3-month-old child knows, which is how to recognize the area around the eyes and the nose and the eyebrows. The bone structure, the three-dimensional bone structure around the center of your face is as unique and distinctive as any fingerprint or corneal print can possibly be.
So you have software, you've created some algorithm here that can have the computer recognize my face and know it's me and not you.
Absolutely.
Now, what do I do with that technology now? What good is it to me?
First is privacy of access to information. For example, this computer is locked up, and until it sees its master's face, it will not open up. The keyboard's locked, the screen is locked.
So you're saying my password is my face here. I look at the computer and it recognizes me and lets me in. I don't have to enter a password.
That's right.
Can we try that? You've already set me up as the owner of this computer.
That's right.
So it's locked up right now, and I go into the computer, and what do I do? Just look at the camera and say, I'm me, I want to use my computer?
Look at the camera. Oh, and it opened up. There is your desktop. And it's just been...
Okay, so it flashed. I recognize you, Stewart. This is your computer. Go ahead.
That's right.
Do what you want.
Yeah, so within 1 or 2 seconds, it recognized you, it found your face, recognized you, and unlocked your computer so you can now go to work.
All right, let me put you on the spot here for a second. Let me bring somebody else in, okay? Cindy, can we get our floor manager in there? Take your headset off, because that's going to confuse it. You pretend... all right, so it's locked up again.
Right. Now look, it's finding her face. See the little circle says, I see a human face out there. It looks at the whole picture, finds that face, and it's taking pictures, picture.
So the computer knows she is not me, the face is different, and it won't let her get into my computer.
It's locked up, but she's also being logged on so that when you come back from coffee, you will know that she
I know who it is that tried to get into my computer.
And when.
Naughty, naughty, Cindy.
Right. And if you wanted to send this off over the internet, you could watch from home.
Explain that.
So that you could take the logs, the pictures of the intruders, you could post it to a website of your choice, so you could literally, from San Francisco, watch the babysitter, at home with your home computer, or back in your office.
All right, now explain what the software is doing. This seems like an incredibly difficult task. You said a 3-year-old can do it, but we know the brain of a 3-year-old is pretty darn sophisticated.
Absolutely.
How is it knowing who I am? I mean, what is it looking at?
Imagine that this part of your face were all broken up into teeny little Lego-like pieces, and that it has 3-dimensionality, it has eyes, and lots of geometry that's very distinctive in this part of the face.
And we set this up. It wasn't just a still picture. You asked me to move a couple of ways, so it's
taking several different angles of you. So I really have a template, a 3-dimensional template of your face.
All right, now I can see it's a password into my computer. What other applications would there be for using FACEIT?
Well, access control and security is one of the major areas, and we're working on immigration and border control issues.
So it could become my passport.
Yes.
Or at an ATM, I don't need a PIN number. It looks at me and says,
right,
you're you?
Because we just this week announced the first face-controlled ATM machine with the Diebold Company at the banking show, so that they can cash checks and do many other
Quickly,
services.
this is a smart card, and how would this apply to using FACEIT?
Well, I can take just a little piece of the storage of this and put your face on that card.
So the file of my face, the recognizable characteristic of my face, could be in here?
Could be in that card. So that means that if you drop that card...
Nobody else can use it?
Nobody else can use that card. So it's absolutely personal to you.
Wow. How much does it cost?
$149.95.
And just any quick cam will work with it?
Any quick cam will work, okay.
Fantastic. Thank you very much,
Thank
Dave.
you.
All right, that's our look at the best of Comdex. I'll be back in just a moment with my pick of the week. Now for my pick of the week. I don't usually use this slot for game software, but I have come across a new adventure role-playing game that is significantly better than anything I've seen before. Most adventure role-playing games are pretty much the same. You wander around, solve some puzzles, collect some stuff, find some keys, and get to the end. But this game, Byzantine the Betrayal from Discovery Multimedia, was obviously developed by people who actually play adventure games, for it has solved many problems of past games and added many nice new features. Here's what I like about Byzantine. First of all, it has a great user interface. You can navigate your environment in a real-time 360-degree space so you really feel like you are somewhere. Secondly, this game not only has stereo sound, but it uses stereo sound. So for example, when the phone rings in this apartment, you can actually find where the phone is by listening for cues. Is it to my right? Is it to my left? I know you can't hear the stereo effect on your TV, but trust me, it's here and it's great. Also, this game automates many of the tedious aspects of other adventure games. When you meet someone and talk with them, the game automatically records your conversation and enters it into your notebook so you don't have to waste time keeping notes. Also, Byzantine, like any good adventure game, is pretty darn hard to solve on your own. But rather than force you to buy hints on a 900 phone number or spend 20 bucks on a hint book, this game comes with built-in hints that are layered so you can get a little nudge or a screamingly obvious clue. Finally, this game uses great video footage. The game takes place in Istanbul, Turkey, and there are excellent cutscenes which really add to the action and the flavor of the game by making you feel as if you're really there. It's not a trivial use of video, but a real meaningful way to increase the realism of the game experience. If you've played adventure games before and been frustrated, try this one. If you've never played an adventure role-playing game before, start with this one. It could get you hooked. It's called Byzantine: The Betrayal. It comes on 6 CD-ROMs. It installs very easily, and it's from Discovery Channel Multimedia. That's it for this edition of Computer Chronicles. We'll be back here again next week with more of the latest in computer hardware, software, and internet technology. If you'd like any more information about anything you saw on today's show, please check out our website at cmptv.com. That's it for this week's Chronicles. I hope we'll see you here next time.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by SoftSource Incorporated, publishers of Pro One software, educational software for young adults, and by Z Auction, the live online shopping experience. Additional funding from PC Connection and Mac Connection, the catalog and online superstore with PC and Mac products, toll-free technical support, and overnight delivery. And by Windows Magazine, delivering desktop, enterprise, and internet computing news, reviews, features, and how-tos for a Windows world, because the world runs on Windows. To purchase a videotape copy of today's program, call toll-free 1-888-310-7850. Please specify the show number and the topic.
Next week on the Computer Chronicles, Internet plugins. We'll meet author John Angel for an introductory tour to what you can do with a plugin. Then we'll show you Shockwave, the most popular plugin on the net. If you want audio, this is what you'll need, the new Real Audio plugin from Real Networks. Finally, a guided tour of Palace Space, where you use plugins to create your own cyber personality. Also, my pick of the week, a simple way to turn your computer into an electronic TV guide. It's all coming up next week on the Computer Chronicles.